Welcome to the True Tomorrow's podcast.
Yes.
Get ready for your weekly science fiction probe into wild galactic tales, ripped from the pages of flash fiction.
Oh, yeah.
Presented with all the excitement of like blockbuster sci-fi films and epic short stories.
Absolutely.
Buckle up. This week, we're taking a close look at two really distinct flash fiction stories that you shared.
Yeah.
Stories that really dig into what makes us tick. Things like heroism and villainy and love and betrayal,
Right.
all set against the incredible backdrop of space.
That's right. From your flash fiction story, we've pulled out two fascinating narratives.
Okay.
One we're calling Othello in Space,
Yeah.
the other Billy the Kid in Space. Our mission today is to unpack the core conflicts, those surprising twists, and really get at what these tales might tell us about ourselves, even when we're imagining ourselves among the stars.
First, we're going to plunge into a futuristic spin on a classic story of jealousy and intrigue. Imagine the GFS Orion, that's essentially the Galactic Federation's flagship, their main command vessel.
Right.
And aboard it, Commander Othello Centauri.
Right.
What happens, do you think, when whispers of doubt and a shadowy rebellion start to swirl around day, a love as deep as the cosmos,
Yeah.
with the entire galaxy hanging in the balance?
It's a recipe for disaster,
Yes,
right?
it sounds like it.
Yeah. And then we'll shift gears to something completely different. The high-octane adventures of Billy Starblade Kid.
Okay.
A classic roguish spacefarer type. He stumbles across a mysterious map that promises to lead to the legendary planet Elysium. Can someone who's always been on the outside, a galactic outlaw, actually become a symbol of hope? That's a great question.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So prepare for a journey way beyond our solar system as we dissect these captivating narratives.
Yeah.
Pulling out the crucial details and looking for those aha moments that make you see things in a new light.
Let's kick things off with Othello in Space.
Okay.
The story drops us right into what's described as the galaxy's heart.
Sure.
A place where, as the story says, stars and secrets collide.
Oh, wow.
What a vivid image that creates, hinting at both the beauty and the underlying tensions of this setting.
Right.
We're immediately on the command deck of the GFS Orion, and there's Commander Othello Centauri, a figure clearly deep in thought amidst all the activity. What strikes you about this opening?
That phrase, where stars and secrets collide, is so evocative, isn't it?
It really is.
It immediately makes you think that nothing is going to be straightforward.
Right.
And picturing Othello as this contemplative figure right from the start suggests he's a character who's already dealing with a lot,
Yeah.
even before the main plot gets going.
Right.
It makes you wonder what kind of secrets he might already be carrying.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the central conflict isn't far behind. Lieutenant Cassio approaches Othello with news from the council about a rebellion brewing on Epsilon IV.
Okay.
But what's really interesting is that Cassio also mentions these whispers questioning Othello's impartiality. Right away, the seeds of doubt are sown.
Yeah.
Despite these uncertainties, Othello is firm in his decision to head to Epsilon IV. What does that tell you about his character in this futuristic context?
It suggests a real sense of duty, doesn't it?
Yeah?
Maybe even a bit of unwavering self-belief.
Okay.
He seems like someone who trusts his own judgment and isn't easily swayed by rumors or political maneuvering. He sees a mission that needs doing, and he's going to do it regardless of what others might be saying.
It speaks to a certain kind of leadership, doesn't it?
It does.
A kind of strength of character.
Yeah.
As the Orion makes its way to Epsilon V, the story gives us a peek into Othello's inner world. He's focused on his duties reviewing reports and planning strategies, but then his thoughts drift to Desdemona and their love story, which the narrative points out was unlikely. Why do you think the author highlights this unusual aspect of their relationship?
I think it emphasizes just how strong and perhaps rare their connection is. A military commander and an astrophysicist.
Right.
From completely different backgrounds.
Right.
It paints a picture of a bond that goes beyond typical societal expectations.
Right.
And this makes their love feel really special, almost fragile. And you can't help but think that this difference might create vulnerabilities that could be exploited later, especially given the echoes of the classic Othello story.
Exactly. When they arrive at Epsilon IV, the tension ratchets up in their meeting with the planetary governor, who is clearly still resentful about past neglect from the Federation.
Okay.
Othello tries to act as a bridge, a mediator. The story really focuses on the careful wording of their conversation. What's significant about this diplomatic dance?
It shows us a different side of Othello. He's not just a military man. He's capable of diplomacy
Okay.
and understanding different perspectives.
Mhm.
He's trying to find common ground with someone who's clearly hostile, which suggests he's genuinely trying to find a peaceful resolution rather than just imposing the Federation's will.
Mhm.
This makes the later descent into conflict even more tragic.
Now here's where things really take a turn. Othello receives an urgent encrypted message from Desdemona.
Uh-huh.
She warns him to be careful, saying there's something bigger than your mission at play.
Oh, wow.
This message is abruptly cut off by an explosion in the city square.
Oh?
How does this moment shift the entire direction of the narrative for you?
It's like a switch flips.
Mm-hmm.
Desdemona's cryptic warning immediately injects the sense of a hidden, larger conspiracy. What could be bigger than quelling a rebellion? The explosion then confirms that whatever's going on is far more dangerous
Yeah.
and immediate than they initially thought.
Great.
Plus, the interrupted communication leaves Othello isolated.
Yeah.
With this unsettling message, unable to get more information, it really amps up the suspense. A key insight here is how suddenly personal and dangerous the situation has become for Othello.
Absolutely. The story then zooms in on Othello's reaction to Desdemona's warning. His mind races, constantly replaying her words and the look in her haunted eyes. He begins to suspect that this rebellion is just a small part of a much larger web of galactic intrigue. What's the effect of showing us his internal struggle so vividly?
It really humanizes him, doesn't it? Despite his rank and experience, he's clearly deeply worried about Desdemona and troubled by her message. It makes him relatable and highlights that even the most powerful people are vulnerable
Right.
when it comes to love and the unknown. It also foreshadows that his personal feelings are going to be a major driving force in how he navigates this unfolding crisis.
The narrative then moves to events back on the Orion. The rebels' demands are escalating, and Othello makes a surprising decision. He's going to host a peace summit as a show of trust.
Okay.
Even though Cassio voices concerns about the potential risk, yet Othello can't shake Desdemona's warning. Why do you think he's so set on the summit despite his unease?
It could be a calculated gamble.
Okay.
Maybe he believes that a show of good faith is the only way to de-escalate the immediate conflict.
Right.
And perhaps more importantly, to get a better sense of who might be pulling the strings behind the scenes.
Yeah.
By bringing everyone together, he might hope to expose the larger conspiracy Desdemona hinted at. He's trying to be proactive even with this nagging feeling of danger.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
The peace summit itself is described as tense, but with moments of potential agreement. However, this fragile hope is shattered when explosions rock the Orion, throwing the summit into chaos.
Oh, no.
Othello's immediate thought is sabotage, and his suspicion falls on Iago.
Okay.
Why Iago at this crucial moment? We haven't seen much of him yet.
That's the question that hangs in the air, isn't it?
Yeah.
The story hasn't explicitly given us a reason to distrust Iago at this point. Perhaps it's a gut feeling on Othello's part, a subconscious recognition of some subtle manipulation we haven't been privy to, or knowing the source material, our own expectations as the audience might be nudging us in that direction.
Right.
It's a clever way to build suspense.
It is. Amidst the chaos, Othello seeks out Iago, who confidently states that the rebels are responsible for the attack. But Othello feels a deeper deceit and starts to doubt Iago.
Okay.
What's the significance of this growing doubt, even without concrete proof?
This is the classic turning point for a tragic hero, isn't it? The seed of suspicion has been planted,
Right.
and Othello is starting to question someone he likely trusted implicitly. This doubt, even if not yet based on solid evidence, is going to shape his actions moving forward and could lead him down a dangerous path based on incomplete information.
The failed summit leads to widespread despair.
Yeah.
And Othello, still haunted by Desdemona's warning, decides his next move is to go to Centauri Prime. Meanwhile, the story shifts perspective to Desdemona, who through her secret research has uncovered a galaxy-threatening conspiracy. The implication is that the truth somehow points directly at Othello. How does this dramatic irony build the tension for you?
It creates this incredible sense of foreboding.
Yeah.
We, as the audience, know something Othello doesn't. That the danger might be much closer to him than he realizes, and that Desdemona, the person he's so worried about, might actually hold the key to unlocking the entire conspiracy.
Right.
The fact that the truth seems to implicate Othello adds another layer of complexity.
Yeah.
And makes us wonder how Desdemona will handle such a devastating discovery.
Othello's arrival at Centauri Prime is described as a moment of silent contemplation of his homeworld. He then receives a coded transmission from Desdemona, finally revealing Iago's deep involvement in both the rebellion on Epsilon IV and the attack on the Peace Summit. She urgently warns Othello to be careful. How does this confirmation impact him, do you think?
It must be a devastating blow.
Right.
That gut feeling he had about Iago is now confirmed, and the betrayal cuts deep. The fact that Desdemona is still trying to protect him despite uncovering this terrible truth speaks volumes about her character.
Yeah.
This moment likely solidifies Othello's resolve. He now knows who the real enemy is and understands the immense stakes involved.
Their reunion on Centauri Prime is charged with emotion.
Yeah.
Desdemona reveals the results of her research. The rebellion and the sabotage were just a smokescreen for a larger power play within the Federation, orchestrated by Iago, who has been manipulating everyone. What are the immediate consequences of this revelation for Othello's understanding of the situation?
His entire understanding of the mission, of his loyalties,
Right.
everything has been a lie. He realizes he's been a pawn in Iago's intricate game. This transforms him from a commander simply following orders into someone driven by a deep sense of betrayal and a fierce love for Desdemona. His identity as a trusted officer has been shattered, and he's now fighting for something much more personal, his love and the truth.
Together, they devise a plan to expose Iago and thwart the coup.
Okay.
This leads to a confrontation back on the Orion where Iago's true nature is revealed, and a fierce battle erupts, fueled by Othello's love and the bitterness of betrayal. Desdemona isn't just a bystander. Her discoveries play a crucial role in fully unveiling the conspiracy and exposing the rogue faction within the Federation. How does Desdemona's active involvement here differ from the original Othello narrative? It feels like a significant shift.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
It gives Desdemona agency and transforms her into a much stronger, more proactive character.
Right.
She's not just a victim of circumstance. She's an integral part of uncovering the truth and saving the Federation. This modern reimagining empowers her and makes their partnership a central element in overcoming the villainy, which feels like a really important and positive update to the classic story. It highlights how reimagining classic narratives with empowered female characters can offer a fresh perspective on themes of betrayal and agency.
The Othello in space narrative concludes with a bittersweet victory. The Federation is saved, but not without deep scars of betrayal and shattered trust. Othello and Desdemona's bond remains unbroken, and the galaxy finds a new equilibrium. Othello is ultimately transformed into a commander who has faced and overcome darkness, emphasizing that the greatest battles are fought with hearts and minds. What's the overarching insight you take away from this science fiction probe into Othello in space for our listeners?
It's a powerful reminder that no matter how advanced our technology or how far we venture into the cosmos, fundamental human emotions like love, jealousy, and betrayal remain incredibly potent forces.
Yeah.
But it also shows the strength that can be found in genuine connection.
Absolutely.
And the courage to seek the truth, even when it's painful. It suggests that true strength isn't just about military might,
Right.
but also about moral integrity and the power of relationships.
Now let's set a course for a completely different corner of the galaxy.
Okay.
And dive into our second flash fiction story, Billy the Kid in Space. We're introduced to Billy Starblade Kid aboard his battered spaceship, the Renegade's Whisper, as he's drifting through the Andromeda asteroid belt.
Okay.
The description really emphasizes his roguish nature and the decidedly chaotic state of his cockpit.
Yeah.
What's your initial impression of this character and his situation?
It immediately paints a picture of a classic space rogue.
Right.
Someone who lives outside the rules, making his own way.
Uh-huh.
The battered spaceship and the chaotic cockpit tell us he's resourceful, but maybe not always on the right side of the law.
Yeah.
He's the kind of character you expect to find himself in trouble, but maybe also someone with a hidden depth or a surprising moral compass.
Precisely. And trouble, as you said, is never far behind.
Right.
A blip on his radar leads him to what appears to be an abandoned alien ship, where he stumbles upon a remarkable artifact, a map that shimmers with an otherworldly glow. This map activates, revealing the legendary planet Elysium, a world lost for eons,
Wow.
and rumored to hold immense power. What's the immediate significance of this discovery for Billy?
It's the spark that ignites the entire adventure.
Yeah.
Elysium, being legendary and associated with immense power, instantly raises the stakes.
Right.
And gives Billy a goal that's potentially much bigger than his usual schemes. It's the classic treasure map trope.
Right.
But amplified on a galactic scale, promising incredible possibilities and equally incredible dangers. So a key insight here is how a seemingly random discovery can suddenly change the course of someone's life, even a roguish one.
That discovery is quickly followed by a very real threat, the blare of alarms and the arrival of Federation ships.
Uh-oh.
This highlights Billy's long-standing conflict with this relentless force of order. A thrilling chase ensues through the treacherous asteroid field, showcasing Billy's impressive piloting skills. What does this initial conflict with the Federation tell you about Billy's place in this galaxy and the kind of story we're about to experience?
It firmly establishes him as an outlaw, someone in direct opposition to the established authority.
Yeah.
The fact that he can evade them, at least for a while, shows his competence and reinforces that roguish charm we talked about. This immediate conflict also creates instant stakes and drives the plot forward. He can't just sit on this incredible discovery. He's already on the run because of it.
During his escape, Billy finds himself reflecting on the legends of Elysium. His inherent skepticism clashes with a growing feeling that this might be something different, something real. He ponders the nature of the power Elysium holds and its potential significance. What do these internal questions reveal about Billy beyond the surface-level persona of a space rogue?
It shows a glimmer of something beyond pure self-interest. He's not just thinking about personal gain, he's starting to consider the broader implications of this legendary planet. Even though he's a bit of a scoundrel, there's a hint of curiosity, and maybe even a sense that he might be involved in something that could affect more than just himself. His skepticism keeps him grounded, while that feeling that this might be different suggests a deeper yearning or perhaps even a hidden hope for something more.
Even after his temporary escape, Billy knows the Federation will be hot on his heels. He contemplates the arduous journey to Elysium and feels the irresistible call of adventure. He also starts to wonder about how to unlock the map's secrets and whether his actions could have wider galactic consequences. What's the significance of him considering these larger ramifications?
It begins to suggest a potential for growth in his character.
Right.
He's not just acting on impulse anymore. He's actually thinking about the bigger picture, even if he doesn't fully grasp it yet.
Yeah.
This hints that his journey to Elysium might be more than just a hunt for treasure. It could be a path towards something more meaningful, perhaps even something heroic.
The narrative then takes us to a remote space station, where Billy overhears whispers about a rebel group united against the Galactic Federation. This sparks a new hope that these rebels might hold the key to deciphering the mysterious map. He meets with Zara, their leader, and proposes an alliance based on their common enemy. What's the dynamic like between Billy and Zara in their initial encounter?
It sounds like a cautious alliance born out of necessity. Zara is understandably suspicious of Billy given his reputation.
Right.
But the shared animosity towards the Federation creates a common ground.
Yeah.
Billy, on his part, likely sees the rebels as a means to an end, a resource that can help him unlock the map's secrets.
Right.
There's probably a power dynamic at play as well.
Right.
With both sides sizing each other up and trying to figure out the other's true motives.
Zara proposes that Billy join the rebel fight against the Federation in exchange for their help with the map.
Okay.
Billy agrees, recognizing the opportunity, but not fully understanding the true scale of the challenge. This leads to a daring plan to use the map as bait to lure a high-ranking Federation officer. What does Billy's decision to join the rebels, even if initially for strategic reasons, tell us about his evolving motivations?
It indicates a growing willingness to work with others and perhaps a dawning sense of something beyond personal gain. While his initial interest in the rebels might be tied to the map, and Elysium aligning himself with a cause, even if for strategic advantage, suggests a potential shift towards a more communal or even heroic path. He's starting to see that his own goals might be intertwined with a larger struggle.
The infiltration of the communications hub seems to go smoothly at first, but an unexpected betrayal throws everything into chaos. The Federation was waiting for them with overwhelming force.
Oh, wow.
Billy is captured, the map is confiscated, and his rebel allies are scattered. He's forced to confront the fact that he underestimated his enemy and the high cost of this failure. How does this significant setback impact Billy's overall journey and his character development?
It's a harsh but crucial turning point. He's faced a major defeat, and any arrogance or overconfidence he might have had has been shattered. Losing the map, being captured, and seeing his allies scattered forces him to confront the true power and ruthlessness of the Federation. It's a humbling experience that likely makes him reevaluate his approach and understand the gravity of his situation. A key insight here is that sometimes failure is the most effective teacher.
While imprisoned, Billy faces Zara, who feels betrayed. Billet sincerely denies any knowledge of the traitor. They share a moment of heavy silence of their shared failure. Then the Federation officer reveals his intention to exploit the map of Elysium to further the Federation's agenda of control. This leads to a shared realization between Billy and Zara. Elysium is real, it holds immense power, and in the wrong hands it represents a significant threat to freedom in the galaxy. How does this shared understanding strengthen the bond between Billy and Zara despite the recent betrayal?
It shifts their dynamic from one of suspicion and blame to one of shared purpose and a renewed sense of urgency.
Okay.
They both now understand the profound implications of Elysium and the danger of it falling into the Federation's grasp.
Right.
This common understanding, born from their shared failure and the revelation of the Federation's intentions, forges a stronger alliance between them and fuels their determination to escape and reclaim the map for the greater good.
Just as Billy's resolve hardens in his cell, realizing the journey to Elysium is now about the future of the galaxy itself, an unexpected intervention occurs.
Oh,
The cell's security system fails.
okay.
An Echo, an AI entity embedded within the map artifact, offers assistance to prevent the Federation from reaching Elysium.
Wow.
How does the introduction of Echo, this mysterious AI, change the trajectory of the story for Billy?
It provides a much-needed lifeline and introduces a new, powerful ally
Right.
with unique knowledge of the map and Elysium itself. Echo's intervention suggests that the artifact is more than just a map. It might have its own sentience or purpose, adding a layer of ancient power and destiny to Billy's quest. It also shifts the conflict from a purely physical struggle against the Federation to one that involves understanding and potentially harnessing this mysterious intelligent power.
With Echo's guidance, Billy and Zara manage to escape, fighting their way through guards and rallying the remaining rebels. They embark on a perilous journey back towards Elysium, relentlessly pursued by the Federation. Upon their arrival, the ethereal beauty of Elysium is starkly contrasted with the imposing Federation fleet descending upon them. A fierce battle erupts in space as Billy pilots the Renegade's Whisper towards the planet's surface.
Wow.
What does this desperate race to reach Elysium with the Federation breathing down their necks signify in terms of Billy's character arc?
It really underscores his transformation from a lone outlaw to a leader willing to risk everything for a cause.
Right.
He's no longer just looking out for himself. He's fighting for the possibility of freedom for the entire galaxy.
Right.
The relentless pursuit and the final desperate approach to Elysium highlight his unwavering determination and the high stakes of this final confrontation.
Once on Elysium, guided by Echo, Billy and a small group race towards the planet's heart, learning that Elysium's immense power responds to pure intent. They face a final showdown with the determined Federation officer, their clash embodying the fundamental conflict between order and freedom. The planet itself reacts, its energy surging and converging around Billy and the officer. The officer's ambition and desire for control lead to his disintegration, while Billy experiences a moment of profound doubt about his own worthiness to wield such power, given his past. How does Echo's crucial insight, true power is an understanding, and Billy's journey has been one of transformation recognized by Elysium, resolve this internal conflict for him?
It's the key to unlocking Elysium's power and to Billy understanding his own worth. It's not about being perfect or having a spotless past, but about the journey of growth and the lessons learned along the way. Echo's words validate Billy's transformation, suggesting that his experiences, both good and bad, have prepared him for this moment. It shifts the definition of heroism from inherent flawlessness to a capacity for growth and understanding.
In a pivotal moment, Billy embraces Elysium's energy, experiencing a radiant light and an overwhelming sense of unity with the cosmos. The power that flows through him is not for domination, but for healing and protection.
Wow.
In the aftermath of the battle, the rebel ships emerge victorious to Federation. The Federation fleet retreats, and Billy stands on Elysium a profoundly changed man, a guardian and a beacon of hope. He has completed his transformation from outlaw to leader, ready to guide the galaxy towards freedom and understanding. What's the ultimate message you glean from Billy Starblade, Kid's incredible science fiction probe?
It's a classic and powerful tale of redemption,
It is.
and the surprising places where heroism can be found. Even someone who starts as a roguish outlaw can rise to become a protector when faced with a cause greater than themselves.
Right.
It really emphasizes the transformative power of a journey and the idea that true strength lies not in the power itself, but in how that power is used.
Absolutely.
For the benefit of others and in the pursuit of freedom. The ending offers a hopeful vision of a galaxy where even the most unlikely individuals can become legends.
What do you make of these two incredible science fiction probes into worlds of galactic conflict and personal transformation? In Othello in Space, we saw how those timeless themes of jealousy and betrayal can play out against the vast canvas of interstellar politics, reminding us that even amidst the stars, our fundamental human emotions remain incredibly potent forces. And with Billy Starblade Kid, his journey from outlaw to potential savior really highlights how unexpected paths and profound interchange can lead to destinies we never could have imagined.
Both stories, in their own unique ways, really make you think about what it means to be human,
Yeah.
or perhaps galactic when faced with extraordinary circumstances. One explores the destructive nature of misplaced trust and the enduring strength of love, while the other shows us that redemption and heroism can emerge from the most unexpected of places. It makes you consider the choices we all make and how those choices shape who we become no matter where in the universe we might find ourselves.
We encourage you to think more about these themes of trust, ambition, and redemption that we explored in these narratives. Consider the insidious power of misinformation, the heavy burden of leadership, and the incredible potential for even the most unlikely individuals to rise to meet extraordinary challenges.
Thank you for joining us on this week's Science Fiction Probe on the True Tomorrows podcast. We hope these wild galactic tales from the world of flash fiction have offered you some surprising insights and plenty to think about. Rate and follow the show for more captivating True Tomorrows.